Good morning, collective. Hello. I missed you guys. I had to take a day off yesterday for some personal things, but we are here back again with, I was going to say with a vengeance, but I'm not a very vengeful person. But hello. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patience. I'm your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. Our next episode coming up is about identity, and we're gathering the components for that. Spirit said mental health patient. Hey, we're gathering the components for that. It's been really fun to gather the pieces for this episode. It's very informative, and I'm love knowledge. I love learning new things, and Spirit definitely helps me to do that. And I hope that we provide a new perspective for everyone who comes and joins us and watches and enjoys our content. So we love you so much. We want to thank you for being here. We're very excited to be here. Today we're going to talk to Heather O'Rourke. If you don't live under a rock and you've watched Poltergeist, which honestly, freaking love Poltergeist. I've loved Poltergeist since it came out, since I watched it, since I first watched it. I've been obsessed with those movies, just because of my psychic gift, and it almost being like like a validating component to my gift when I was little. You never seen it? Hello, everybody. Good morning. Angry Honky. Hello. Welcome back. First, thank you. Good morning. Nice t-shirt. Thank you. Good morning and happy day, Tony. Bill Reed. Well, it is a scary movie. It's called Poltergeist, so definitely a scary concept if you've never experienced a poltergeist. I have absolutely. Hi, Sender. I love you too. Hello, George from Los Angeles. Hello, everybody. I actually have had experience with poltergeist. The thing is I don't know if I would consider it a poltergeist or just a supernatural experience, but there was a house we lived in California, because that's where I was born. We lived in, I think it was in Chatsworth, California, and there was this house we lived in, and I had a lot of experiences at this house. They say poltergeists and aliens have a connection. I don't know. I think that interdimensionals and crossed over people can intersect for sure. Finally, a woman that doesn't have to cake her face in makeup. Oh, well, thank you. I think we should normalize not wearing makeup anymore. But the experience I had was in this house. I had a lot of experiences, but this one particular one where the interdimensionals or ghosts or whatever they were interacting with us physically, was I was with my sister, and well, she was visiting. She's 10 years older than me, so she was a lot older than me, but I think I was like 5 or something. And I had a lot of experiences in this house, but this one particular one was with my sister. And she was visiting, and we were just, being silly. We're staying up late. We thought we were so cool, like staying up late. And we sneak into the kitchen, and the lights are off, except for this one light. It's like this room, and it's like the laundry room that sits between the hallway and the kitchen. Jessica. And so that light is on, so it's kind of illuminating the whole, the kitchen area, and we're like sneaking food and stuff. And then I don't remember exactly how it began, but what I remember is the fear from this like herd of cockroaches. Like it must have been like, I don't know, like 100 cockroaches, and they were like in a packed together, and they were chasing us. And we got up on the washer and dryer, and then they were just stood there in a circle looking at us, and just like we were having a stare off. And me and my sister look at each other and we're like, what the hell? And they just were like, I don't know if they were waiting for a command or if they were waiting for us to get down from the thing. Like, I have no idea. But my sister took my stepfather's cowboy boot and just started like stomping them with the cowboy boot, and then they like dispersed. But that was like those cockroaches were chasing us in that weird like group of cockroaches. Like anywhere we went, they were like following us. And that was like one time where energy or poltergeist or whatever that was like interjected physically in our physical world, and I'm glad I had a witness for that. That's something that me and her have talked about. LOL! Good morning, fam. Blow your nose. Oh, I hate cockroaches. Hello, everybody. Yeah, most are just us sleeping or weird people speaking foreign languages I can't understand. Oh, I have that too. Where if I have like a fan on, or like, actually I got to turn my fan on. Or like the noise from the furnace, or like a white noise, I always hear like either shamanic drumming in it, or like a chanting, or sometimes children laughing. I have that too. Does she work? I'm tired of hiding the fact that I'm just a normal guy. I have to poo. Still waiting for my experience. Are we breaking songs down tonight? Maybe. I could definitely get a song if you guys want. So we're talking to Heather O'Rourke. She was a little girl. She was a little girl in Poltergeist, and there's been a lot of controversy around her death. Her death, infamous. She says infamous. Some of the names she said were Janet, Stephen, and Peter. And I looked up Janet. That's what they called her mother. So I didn't know that till she said it on the necrometer. She also said Peter. There's a Peter she worked with. There's a Peter that she was put above at where she was buried. And then she says Stephen all the time. So those are just some names. But what's really cool is that, I mean, not cool, but I mean, what she did there. I see what she did there. She's been wanting me to read her for a while. But I just didn't feel like it was the right time. And then yesterday I was making a post to say that Friday. I was making a post to say that I wasn't going to be on tomorrow or yesterday. And she goes, just put the date down for when you're going to read. I was like, okay. So I did that, and then I do my research, and I look up the day they were born and the day they passed, and she passed today. Yeah, she passed today, but in 1988, February 1st, 1988. So I was like, oh, okay, girl, I'll see you. Yeah, Spielberg probably. Yeah, cool, right? Hey, Lake Superior. But why does she sound like a clanker? I don't know what a clanker is. Yeah, so isn't that cool? And then she said Janet, and I was like, well, who's Janet? So I looked up Heather O'Rourke and Janet, and it's her mom. It's her mother, which actually is weird because her mother's first name is Kathleen, but her middle name is Janet, and everyone calls her Janet. So that's very interesting that she said Janet. You know what? Let me just prove it to you guys just for the data, because I don't want nobody to think I'm making this stuff up, because I don't do that. Okay, Let me sign. Yeah, here, I screenshot it. See, Janet, down at the bottom there. I was like, oh shoot, I better screenshot it before it goes away. She also said, unholy hours, sadistic, witch's circle, working in the mines, below, balmiest, you will never be alone. Okay? Just had to show you that. So then I was looking up other things that have to do. So look, okay, there's a lot of information. I'm sorry. So first of all, she passed. You know what? Let me not. I want to be accurate when I say what they say she died of. Okay. So she died when she was 12 today in 1988. Okay. She died from septic shock due to an acute bowel obstruction caused by congenital intestinal stenosis, a condition present since birth that was misdiagnosed as Crohn's disease in the year before her death, leading to inappropriate treatment with cortisone, which worsened her condition before the fatal blockage was discovered during emergency surgery at 12. So her initial symptoms started in 87 when she developed symptoms like nausea and swelling, which doctors at Kaiser Permanente initially attributed to the flu or giardiasis, a parasitic infection from well water. A misdiagnosis of Crohn's disease led her to be treated with a steroid medication, which caused facial swelling, evident in Poltergeist 3, but didn't address the underlying issue, and the condition worsened, leading to the intestinal blockage. This is what they say. Okay, so we'll see what comes out. On February 1st, 1988, she suffered cardiac arrest and died during surgery to correct the obstruction which had been present since birth, but was never properly identified due to the misdiagnosis.
60.
Which, I find to be kind of contradictory, because if it were an obstruction since birth, wouldn't there have been some kind of x-rays done to show an obstruction? I mean, if you go in for something that you were diagnosed with at birth, the first thing doctors do is, take your x-rays and do your blood and do all that stuff. So if it's an obstruction, I'm like, well, wouldn't that be able to be seen? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. So that's just one of my first thoughts. You look cut, bro. I'm uncut. You make your own reality, fool. That's right. Are witches real? I once heard a stereotypical witch laugh. I do think witches are real. Babies get x-rays? I don't know. I don't know if they do. I mean, she died when she was 12. If this was an ongoing diagnosis that she was given to at birth, I mean, I just know from having kids, there's all kinds of ways they do x-rays for kids, and as you get older, if symptoms are getting worse, like if she had an obstruction since she was born and then it became more when she was 12, like it's a big gap of time. So I'm just wondering, like, is there something that made it is there something that made it worse? Is there something that I don't know? Like, these are just questions that it sounds like Stephen may know. I don't know, we'll see. So but she's been coming through, so I want to talk to her. Okay, so there's that. Oh, and then this morning I was and by the way, she had me wake up at 3 a.m. Like, I wake up at 3 a.m. anyway, Monday through Friday, because I'm a baker, but on the weekends I usually, try to sleep till like 4 or 5, but she had me get up at 3:30 today. My daughter came in the room. I was gonna go back to sleep. My alarm went off at 3. I was gonna go back to sleep till 5, and then my daughter came in the room at 3:30. And she got into the bed, so I couldn't even lay down anymore. I was like, all right, I hear ya. So, and then she said witch's circle and the unholy hour. So just some things. Oh, what's happening? There we go. Okay. And then the song I got while like right when I was waking up was 1910. Can I get a surprise with the shake? Wait. What? It was salt and pepper. Excuse me. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Can I get surprised with a shake movie? If looks could kill you, would be an Uzi or a shotgun bang. What's up with that thing? What is that song? I think it's What a Man. Salt and Pepper, What a Man lyrics. There's this one part that they say about the booty, I thought. Let me see. It was a specific part about the booty. Maybe it's not What a Man. Damn it. If looks could kill you, would be an Uzi or shotgun bang. What's up with that thing? I want to know. How does it hang? Oh, that's Shoop. It's Shoop. It's Shoop. My bad. Shoop. Wicked had to kick it. I'm not shy, so I asked for the digits. Oh my god, I just used to love salt and pepper, honestly. Oh yeah, you're packed and you're stacked, especially in the back, brother. Wanna thank your mother for a butt like that. Thanks, mom. Can I get some fries with that shake booby? If looks could kill you, would be an Uzi or shotgun bang. That is a specific part I heard this morning. You're packed and you're stacked, especially in the back. Brother, wanna thank your mother for a butt like that. Thanks, mom. And she said Janet. So something about that. Okay. No clear explanation. No clear explanation. So that's what I got so far. So let's get into it. Okay. Thank you so much, Heather. Heather, thank you for being with us. With Archangel Michael, I invite you into my energy field to get a higher perspective of your linear view. Please tell us about yourself. Where should we begin? Let's do the imagine ifs, okay? Let's roll the dice. Tell us a little bit about yourself. 4. I rolled a 4. Let's see. Oh, what is this? Did I just get a gift? Oh, thank you. Thank you for my Sunday. I liked it. Thank you. Imagine if Heather were awakened in the night by a burglar. What would you do? Tackle the burglar to the ground. Damn. Okay. And Spirit said with Janet, which circle and unholy hour? Which I believe the unholy hour is between 1 and 4, I believe. Tackle the burglar to the ground. Okay, let's roll again. Oop. 6. At the start. Okay. Imagine if Heather were a color. Which would she be? Pure white. Oh, oh, honey. She was just a little angel. She really was. She was adorable. Imagine if Heather were a dental procedure. What would she be? Dentures. Dentures. I've been getting a lot of downloads about dentures. Interesting. Okay. 3. Sneak out, or wait, tackle the burglar to the ground, pure white, and dentures. Imagine if Heather were a high school class, which would she be? 3. Shop. Shop. High school class, shop. What is a shop class in high school? In old days, people would put dog teeth as dentures. That's poor dogs. I make my own dental partials. Oh, really? That's cool. There is no unholy hour. That's silly wishful thinking, in my opinion. Me too. Absolutely. But you know, people who need power or who lack internal power seek powerful hours, you know? You know what I'm saying? They need those things to perform. I don't know. I don't pretend to know, but I need to look up what shop is because I don't really know what that is. What is shop class in high school? Extracurricular program where students learn safe firearm handling? Oh, not shot class. Shop. I'm like, what? Shop class. High school course providing hands-on training in trades like woodworking, metalworking, automotive repair, welding, and electricity. Okay, so like technical career education. Okay. Interesting. Some kind of extracurricular activity, some kind of provisional? Is that a word? I don't know if I made that up. Auto shop. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Angry Honky. Hey, Mr. Brad Boy. I'll do my best to look at all the... Thank you, LOL. I'll do my... Hey, Scovy. I'm putting tanning lotion on my feet. In old days, people... I'm trying to read all the comments, but I'm sorry if I don't see them. I also have regular checkup, shocking pink, scream. Some kind of extracurricular activity to focus on her career. Okay, let's get a couple more. 6. Imagine if Heather were a light source, what would she be? A laser beam. And I have in that song, it says, you're packed and you're stacked, especially in the back. If looks could kill, you would be an Uzi or a shotgun bang. What's up with that thing? I want to know, how does it hang? That's kind of nasty. Straight up, wait up, hold up, Mr. Lover. Like Prince said, you're a sexy mother. Well, I like him real wild, b-boy style by the mile. Bright as the sun. I want to have some fun. Come and give me some of that yum yum. Baby, take a ride in my coupe. You make me want to shoot. Okay. That kind of reminds me of Bright as the Sun. If looks could kill, you'd be a shotgun, an Uzi or a shotgun. Some kind of attraction to a little blonde child. Oh my gosh, this card keeps moving down because of the static on my... Oh, that was so funny. The static keeps like moving it by itself. So that's interesting. Poltergeist. 6. There's also I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. There's also some kind of gossip of a curse from the Poltergeist movie, because there are 4 primary cast members from the original, from all the Poltergeist trilogy movies that died within 6 years of the film. Heather O'Rourke being the first, Dominique Dune, murdered in 1982 at the age of 22 by her ex-boyfriend. That was the older sister in the Poltergeist, the first Poltergeist movie. And then Julian Beck, who played the bad guy, Kane, in Poltergeist 2, died of stomach cancer in 85. And then Will Sampson, he was in Poltergeist 2, died in 87 following complications from a heart-lung transplant. Other reported... Oh, wait. No, come back. Other reported deaths associated with this production include an actor who played a construction worker in the original film, who was reportedly murdered in 2009. I mean, that's kind of a lot, don't you think? I mean, I think it's a lot of people to have died from one production, you know? What do you guys think? Right? I mean, that seems kind of like a lot. Like, I'm not sure if there's, hold on a second. I'm not sure if there, let's find out. Movies where majority of actors died. Oh, wait, it's saying in the movie. See, I don't know how to put that. Other movies where the actors have... Movies where the actors have tragically passed after. Yeah, there's a lot of movies where people have passed, but not the amount of people. Not the amount of actors. So there's over 6. So they say that it's the movie's cursed. Well, what brings on a curse? I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, but I know that it's possible, you know? Oh, don't look at how they made Milo and Lotus. River seen that. Oh, I used to love Milo and Otis. All right, let's grab a couple more. 6. Imagine if Heather were a dog. What breed would she be? A greyhound. Coffee table. Greyhound bus. Greyhound races. Greyhound breeders. You know, greyhound is a specific, you know, a breed, a type of specific breed. Interesting. Oh, under pure white royal blue. She had blue eyes and really, really blonde hair. There could be some kind of attraction to a specific type of person or like look. Okay, some attraction by older people because they have dentures. 1800s. Imagine if Heather discovered a married friend were having an affair. Gossip. And under dentures as well. Gossip under dentures. Interesting. Okay. Give me one more and then we'll get some clarity. Imagine if Heather could keep only one of the following. Which would she choose? Telephone. Isn't there a telephone scene in Poltergeist? Let me see. Telephone scene in Poltergeist. Toy telephone. The moment 5-year-old Carol Ann Freeling sits in front of her static TV announcing they're here, while not a traditional phone call, this moment where she speaks to spirits through the TV serves as the iconic introduction to the supernatural haunting, signaling that the entities have invaded the home. And then there's a scene where her little toy phone rings. And in the movie, Carol Ann her significance in the role can be identified as a medium, because she's the one who can connect. And they want the little girl. So it goes back to wanting something specific, some kind of breed, pure white, royal blue, something like that. Toy phone. Let me play this part. Hello, can you hear me? Sorry. I had my finger must have hit the mute. But that was funny because they put I mean, I didn't hit mute. Maybe it was on accident, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But they put Morpheus's voice for who picked the phone, so that's funny. But I've been doing an experiment to see how the readings get interrupted, because I find that, or I've observed that when I announce who I'm going to read ahead of time, I get a lot more disruptions. And so I'm trying to, experiment with that. But that she said telephone. So I'm answering the call, girl. I got you, boo. I got you. And then I also posted, TikTok will put a voice, we'll put a sound, we'll randomize a sound to the picture you post. And it was like, oh, you thought I'd be quiet, you thought I'd stay down. And it also talked about gossip. So, gossip just has to do with controlling a narrative. When people gossip, they're trying, it's a tactic used to control a narrative, to create some kind of story that gets, like telephone. You ever play that game, Telephone? Oh, thanks, Lake Superior. I just hope that I'm helping in any way. I don't know about being popular, but I just want to help. Okay, so let's see. Where should I go? Oh my gosh, where should I go? Heather, what? Isabella? Oh, let me see, hold on. Heather O'Rourke and Isabella. Based on the provided search. Oh, wait a second. Okay. It's going AI mode. I just like to, when they say a name, I just want to make sure they're not related. The Poltergeist Connection. Co-star, actress named Isabel Wolf. Heather O'Rourke, the late child star of Poltergeist, appeared in an episode of the TV series Our House that also featured an actress named Isabel Wolf. The Poltergeist Connection in the horror community. Heather O'Rourke is often discussed alongside other scream queens or horror icons such as Catherine Isabel. Huh.
Tarot card.
Oh, she said tarot cards. She wants me to use tarot cards. I don't ever use tarot cards, but okay. Which ones do you want me to use? Okay. I don't use tarot cards, but I'll use ones with pictures on them. Oh my gosh, the Hangman. Who does that look like? Doesn't that look like her? Blonde hair. And her feet are red. Look at the feet are red by the flowers. Looks like red shoes. And she's making that hand gesture with her hands. Isn't that what they do with... Isn't that like what Jay-Z does and all them? They make that hand gesture. She looks very ceremonial, right? Because I have pure white, royal blue. Something about a breed of person. Maybe like a bloodline. Maybe that's the red. Some kind of bloodline. I have Knight of Swords. I don't do tarot, so I don't... She just said tarot card, but I don't really know the suits and stuff. It's funny, this horse has his horseshoes showing, and one of them's covered. Something... It kind of reminds me of, like, positive and negative. There's also a dagger in this person's hand. And it looks like they're going to action. You know, like they're moving. This kind of looks like the guy the Native American man that was in the Poltergeist 2. I think his name was Taylor. He died of heart and lung transplant. And his foot is in the stirrup. It's a letter opener. Oh, maybe. Gotcha. Gotcha, Brad boy. There's also some kind of big, like, almost looks like a mansion at the bottom. This kind of makes me feel like a plan of action. And Spirit said plan. Some kind of plan of action. She could have passed away unexpectedly, and so a plan of action had to be made quickly. Some kind of stir-up, you know, something that got stirred up, something that had to be contained, something that was lucky but unlucky. You know, it's almost like something was gained from her death, but also the bad side of it, it needed a specific thing to be, I want to say covered up, but because the horseshoe's covered. It's covered. She's also covered in a bed of roses. Okay. There's also a covering, like the way this guy's dressed is kind of weird because there's a covering over her bottom area and her head. She also has something on her head, almost looks like ceremonial. This dagger looks ceremonial. The white horse, we had pure white and royal blue. She's in like a royal blue attire. The white horse. Clean shop. Have to clean shop. Something about cleaning up shop. Okay. Oh, I really don't like using tarot cards, but...
Mansion.
Mansion! Spirit just said mansion. Didn't I say that this looks like a mansion? Yeah, something at a mansion. Something happened at a mansion where she may have passed unexpectedly and they had to... Some kind of ceremony. And something about red feet. Or red shoes. Or... Something about pure blood. Oh, for entertainment purposes only, guys. I am community advocate in my area. That's awesome. I have 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands. Hmm. Burning evidence. I don't know. I don't know, honey. I'm not used to reading tarot cards, so I'm not. The sun. The sun with Horus. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. I've been getting 8s a lot lately, and I was thinking of the other day crazy 8s from Kill Bill. They had the crazy 88s. Where's that group? And they were dressed in that. They're all dressed the same. Kind of like this. Like the black, just the black thing over their eyes. Some kind of sun worship. You know, these, Donna, son of the morning. Some kind of son of the morning sun worship. Needing to have some kind of pure blood. Some kind of breed with royal blue blood. Something like that. Thank God the internet give artists a different avenue instead of these old movies and music productions. Yes, absolutely. We were just talking about that yesterday. There's not going to be any more celebrities because clearly humans cannot handle the responsibility that it takes to have, you know, worldwide influence. You know, they always want to abuse their power and abuse the people that want to be a part of, you know, the entertainment industry. Even, you know, Heather O'Rourke, possibly. All right. Where else should we go now? Let me see. 5. We'll do like you cards. Okay, we'll do like you cards. Heather, what is this? What is this? She could be saying that she was like a laser beam, or they were drawn to her like a laser beam because she fit a certain description that embodied, like purity, that embodied something that was pure, something that was adorable. She fit a certain breed, a certain type of description that was needed. Something about a mansion, something ceremonial at a mansion that has to do with sun worshiping, talking shop, something that is like a meetup, or like a classroom, or something that was like extracurricular, perhaps even telling her, come by the mansion, bring your mom, we'll do, we'll teach you how to act or whatever. We'll do extracurricular or whatever. Spirit also said salad earlier, so I don't know if, food is involved, but definitely something put into action because of something unexpected, having to do with sun worship. Who is the greatest singer of all time? The greatest singer of all time. Who is the greatest singer of all time? I don't know. Celine Dion. I don't know. These two people that listen to music, he was like freaking out about Celine Dion. Celine Dion. Where's the last place you've traveled over this travel card? This mansion. The last place she was this mansion before she died. What would be your first act as president? Something about the, singers and political figures. Possibly at this mansion. Doing some sun worship. Have you had your fortune read? Oh. I'm seeing something in my mind's eye. I've actually seen this mansion before in my mind and in dreams. It's, it has I want to say coat of arms. But I don't know if that's right. It has lots of like old medieval type decorations inside. Like coat of arms, like banners and like armor. But like, like standing like this, like with a sword, I don't know whose house that is, but I see it. It says, have you had your fortune read? Presidents, singers at this mansion. And have you had your fortune read over Horus, the sun, some kind of sun worship? We know that these fertility cults, what they like to do is try to predict the future, which we don't recommend you do. Okay, we don't recommend you do that. But they do that, and they do it to control their timeline, to control their abundance. So they may have had something happen accidentally, something that wasn't supposed to happen, that may have prompted them to need guidance in this way. Well, how can we create, what's the gossip we can create? Because they're necromancers, which means that they could try to control past over people to tell them, or like interdimensionals to tell them, future events for their timeline. But the problem with doing that is that it could change at any minute. It could change at any minute. Any choice you make could change that timeline you're on. So they definitely sought out an oracle or some kind of prediction mechanism to be able to know how to handle an accidental death. Okay? If you could choose any superpower, what would it be? Because they have this is like a religion, okay? And so they have certain beliefs that haunting. They have certain beliefs that are associated with their fertility rituals, okay? That it's part of their belief system. And so they believe in superpowers is over the this card. They believe that children, especially because it's because when they speak about purity, it's not about being sexually clean. It's about the energy field, and it's just turned into being sexually clean. But obviously she's a little girl, so she's that as well. She's purity, pure white, but it has to do with the energy field. That's why they prefer children, because typically it's before they've had any interaction sexually before their time, where it interrupts or disrupts the purity of their energy field. And because this fertility cult are energy vampires, they don't have any more vital force. They eat the energy, and they would prefer the energy come from an energy field that has no blockages, that has no other interference with it, because it just like you'd want the best cut of steak, or you'd want the best picked apples. It's like the same idea. I'm not trying to minimize the fact that it's a child, but I'm just saying it's like choosing the best of the best. Okay, big question, but you need to know before someone decides for you. Call me babe, I have some chicken wings. Necros Warhammer 40k vibe. Good to talk about it. You want to give him your number? Ideology for sure. In 24 hours today won't exist anymore. That's true. Okay. So they believe that by harvesting someone who fits, it's kind of like what Hitler was told by those interdimensionals, and why he was so obsessed with blonde hair and blue eyes. It's because these interdimensionals tricked him into believing that was the purest race, or whatever, that had the cleanest fields or blood or whatever for feeding. Okay, and so she fits that description. So they're very attracted to her energy. Her energy is royal blue. Her energy is pure. So they consider her energy to be able to provide them some kind of superpower. Okay? Do I think that's true? No, absolutely not. They're just so controlled by this sun worship, whatever they're worshiping, that they believe anything it tells them, because they're not very smart as they think they are. Okay, what's your favorite Disney movie? Yeah, it kind of feels like giving her the idea that we want to help you. We want to further your career. We want to train you classically. We want to give you the best training, and we want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then inviting her to, there's going to be lots of people here that you're going to find very interesting for your career path. So then it's a way to draw her in. She's only 12, you guys, and she started when she was 4 or 5. Okay, so they're letting her know you could be the next child star. People, you're going to be in Disney movies. You're going to be on the Disney Channel. You're going to do this and that, you know. When I get too many I delete my channel. I've been like this for 20 years. Can your significant other be your best friend? And that's under what would be your first act as president. Let me see who was president in 1988. I think it was Ronald Reagan. I don't know. Let me see. Who was president in 1988? Ronald Reagan. Yeah. And George H.W. Bush was the vice president in 1988. Okay. So this mansion has actors, oracles. This is some kind of group meeting or something. Something about sun worship. What's something you secretly love that you're ashamed to admit under the sun? And under fortune reading. What's something you secretly love that you're ashamed of? Okay. I'm lost in the forest. She could be earthbound because of this. She could be earthbound because of this. Stuck in the past. Stuck on a loop because of the way she passed. Some kind of ceremonial. Something about red feet. I don't know why her feet are red, but something about that. I think an exact question would be, what would you do as Secretary of State? You have good facial structure. Beautiful woman for sure. Oh, thank you. Have you had your heart broken? Yes. I think something about her mom broke her heart. Let's get a couple more. Is there a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone? Yeah, on top of royal blue and purity. Yeah, something about how... What book has influenced you the most? So let me get one more. And then, what is your learning style? Yeah, there's something here about her. I mean, she's a little girl, you guys. So it's like, you know, she wants to trust whoever's around her. And the people, the grown-ups that are around her, pretend like they love her. And so she considers that as love. Or maybe she considers something that they do with her to be loved, because they say, you know what abusers say. You know, I'm doing this because I love you. Because I care about you. You know, because whatever they say. I don't know. That's gross, I know. But when you're a child, you might not. You don't question what an adult's telling you. You trust them. Okay. Let's do a mind trap. Heather, what is this? Tell me more about this. Let's return to the scene, said Shadow. We're doing a mind trap. Shadow and Roger Ragtop drove to the deserted storage house. They walked down one of the many halls on the 3rd floor and stopped in front of the 9th door on the left. The 9th door. Isn't there a movie called The 9th Gate? Let me see. The 9th Gate? Yeah, with Johnny Depp. A neo-noir horror thriller. Specializes in tracking down rare and exotic volumes for collectors. Has recently acquired a 17th, and Spirit said 17th century satanic text called The 9 Gates. A legendary book written by Satan himself. Okay. And we do know that this fertility cult uses people who use their abilities for bad to track down people who have a specific
Time of death.
energy signature. Okay? Roman Polanski. Yeah, that guy is weird as well, right? The area had been cordoned off. That's weird. Cordoned off with police tape instead of cornered off. Cordoned? Let me see. Cordoned?
I was murdered.
I was murdered, she just said. Prevent access to or from an area or building by surrounding it with police or other guards. Oh, okay, I never heard that before. Spirit vocab. Cordoned off with police tape. Shadow removed the tape and pulled the door open. They opened some kind of portal through with her energy. Sam Sugg swore he was going to kill me when he got out of jail. Last week he was released. He saw me on the street, so I turned and ran to this old storage house. With so many rooms, I didn't think Slug would find me. Then, to my horror, I saw the doorknob turn slowly. As the door started to swing toward me, I panicked and started to shoot. I didn't mean to kill him, but rather scare him off. Shadow looked at Ragtop and replied, "That story will never hold up. Why not?" Yeah, I told you. They invited her, they sent her an invitation, her and her mother possibly, to go to a mansion of the greatest of all time, someone who's the greatest of all time. They got her to go there by introducing, we want to help you to be in movies. We want to help your career. We want to coach you. We want to train you. We want you to be in Disney movies, stuff like that. I love this channel. Patience is a great. Oh, thank you, Lake Superior. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for always being here. Thank you. I'm glad to share with you. They invite her to this house, and I don't know if this has been something that goes on for her since she was little, but there's a particular time in 1988. What would be your first act as president? And the president that when she died was 1988. So she's referring to something that happened the year she died, and she died today in 1988 though. Sometimes I think these celebrities are hiding somewhere. I do too. I do think set ablaze, and look at this. Set ablaze, and look at this. Okay, something about fire. So I think she gets invited to this mansion on multiple occasions, but I think that one occasion something happened.
Ask me.
And it's something about a ninth door, something about opening a door with her energy. Because I'm not an expert in rituals, but what I'm learning through spirit is that when you do sun worship, which is Satan, I guess. I don't know much about it, but what we're observing is that they have to have an external tap of energy, and it has to match a certain frequency for them to extract whatever it is they're trying to extract, which is usually something that's equated to abundance, money or whatever. And so they have to extract that. The way that they extract it, instead of instead of energetically extracting it, they have to extract it physically. And they do that through sodomy and other things, because it extracts it from the energy center. Okay, so when they do these parties they look like parties, they're really fertility rituals. Okay, and they need your permission to do it. Otherwise, they can't do it. If you don't give permission, they can't do it. But you don't know that. And so that's why they use, they use breadcrumbing, especially for the children, to trick them into doing it. And they say, oh, we love you so much. That's why we're doing this, because we want you to be life force. Yes. We want you to be successful. This is how we're going to do it. And we love you so much. And but that's not love. There's a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. Okay. And so there's something about this specific time. Let's return to the scene. She may have been walking around this house trying to escape this ritual, because there's something about multiple people being here. Spirit also said witch's circle and unholy hour. Okay. I have the names Roger. I have the name Shadow, which could refer to the entity. I have the name Sam. Okay, so this specific time in the mansion was to open a gate or a portal, possibly for something to come through. Okay, we know that according to some eyewitness accounts that have witnessed these rituals. I'm sorry, I have spirit phlegm. That have witnessed these rituals, they invoke, these rituals open a portal to invoke Saturn energy. Something with that energy to invite it into your vessel. They want things to come into their vessel. They think that's how they are powerful. It's not true. You don't have to do that, but that's what they believe in. Okay. I don't know. Let's see if we can find more answers out about that. Tell me about your mom. Tell me about your mom, Heather. There's also something about I didn't mean to kill him, rather scare him off. Okay, so there's something, that story will never hold up. So there's something about them needing to create a story because, I don't think she was supposed to pass. I don't think she was supposed to die. He forgot which way the door swung. Something about not being able to close the door and panicking. Okay. I don't even want to say what it just came into my head. I don't want to say that. Art Bragg claimed, so this could be about her mom. So there's asked about her mom. Her mom claimed that while on a safari hunting, she slipped and broke her foot. Yeah, this whole thing made up about her obstruction could have been made up. Not to be put off, he managed to continue on long enough to track the lion and kill it. Then he said that while he was in the North Pole during the dead of winter, he caught a terrible cold, but was still able to track and kill the polar bear. Then to top it off, while in a small boat off the coast of Florida, he was able to catch and land a shark, in spite of the fact that his arm was badly sprained. Although Art's tales are hard to believe, on what point do you know he's lying? Yeah, the mom was lying. This is a fabricated story to hide the fact that she died unexpectedly. I don't know how. I don't know how yet, but there's definitely something about her, a made-up story, a lie. Okay? Let's look in the dream decoder. Okay, let's see if we can get more answers. Good morning. Jesus loves you. Oh, thank you. She would have done great movies. I would love a vampire movie with her in it. Yeah. Me too. I caught 9 sharks with my balls. All right. Chocolate, ice cream. Oh my gosh, you know what? This kind of reminds me of the Jean Benet Ramsey reading we did. Where they were putting something in the pineapple turnover pie or whatever she was eating. They may have been drugging her with because I got ice cream, cakes, pastries. They may have been putting something in her food. Something. Food of the gods. Food of the gods. They were eating the food of the gods off their favorite gift. And as a symbol of their affection, a substitute for romance. They came to host. They were a host of different shapes and sizes. They put a great deal of significance into cake, they put a great deal of significance into cake and avoided cakes but were eating them in the dream to allow someone to allow someone to be asleep. Wow. She said perpetual, so she could have perpetually felt like she was always asleep, because the amount of times that she's going to this mansion, every time she's getting ice cream and chocolate and pastries, and they make sure to avoid, says usually avoid cakes, but eating them in the dream. So a substance to it. Yeah, they're putting some kind of substance to it, because cake with a substance for a substitute for romance, because she was a delicacy to them, like some kind of rare delicacy. That's fucking weird, man. Horse, donkey, lamb, hare. Yeah, some kind of lamb, a sacrificial lamb. Spilt on behalf of the flock of believers. Guilt, sadness, anger. Associated with mad as a hare. Warning about acting irresponsibly. They were advised to relax and play less. They were riding the horse. Their goal was for a smooth ride, and everything was going well and didn't anticipate any problems. But then someone started to ride alone and wanted to do things their own way, even while they were in a group, trying to work as a team. The horse started running away, and they felt that the opportunity was running from them. So they grabbed on and held tight. But the donkey had been a beast of burden. She was hardy, tough, and strong. But they had the ability to carry heavy loads and fight her stubbornness. She felt like she was dreaming. She may have, there may have been something like some kind of ritual with a team of people where she was the sacrificial lamb. She was drugged, but she started to wake up. The veil lift. She started to wake up a little and she ran away. There's one particular person, maybe the person that was invoking the spirit, or maybe the spirit went into somebody and that person became opportunistic and started to prefer things their own way. And that's when she may have she thought she was dreaming, but she may have gotten away or ran away. Because she was trying to be tough and strong. They weren't expecting her to do that. She started behaving differently. She ran away. She was refusing to compromise because for whatever reason she was drugged, but she may have just started to come out of it, or I don't know. I haven't been drugged before, so I don't know like what's possible, but I'm sure anything's possible. So she got away, but there's one person in particular that wanted to do things their own way, that is supposed to be a smooth ride, but someone started to branch off from the team. Builder, plumber, electrician, carpenter. Oh my gosh, and I have shop. Blocked drains. Blocked drains. Her occupation as being a major motivator or influencer was a work in progress. Were you working alone or as a team? There was a project that was going well where there was a problem. Shaky, unsafe, and collapsing. Something about blocked drains, unfinished structure. Tell me about this person that wanted to do it their own way. Who's this person that wanted to do it their own way? We'll do the stair cards.
Mysterious door.
Mysterious door. I told you there's something about her being drugged, and for whatever reason she started to come to. When she saw that, she may have thought she was in a dream at the time, which honestly great, because it may have helped her to kind of like disassociate and get away. She ran away. Okay, once she ran away, she may have opened a door, ninth gate, or went through some door where there was a person in particular, I'm not sure, that may have wanted to, an opportunist that saw an opportunity to do what they wanted. Do as thou wilt. Isn't that what they say? Okay, something like that. Tell me more about this person. Yeah. Gangbangers. Gangbangers. And here's the sun right here. And look at this cactus next to the, there could have been multiple children there, Look at this. There may have been an object that was placed inside of her, and that's what caused the obstruction. to her intestines, a blocked intestinal tract with an obstruction, it said specifically. I'm sorry, but I believe full-heartedly that anytime you go to the doctor, the first thing they do is take an x-ray. If there was an obstruction, they would have seen it. They wouldn't have not done the x-ray and then say it was Crohn's disease. No, you do the, even if she's 12 years old. I cannot make it up. Look at that witch. Peter Pan. This fertility cult is a bunch of Peter Pan motherfuckers that never want to grow up. They want to stay old forever. I mean, young forever. They want to harvest energy. Who does this look like? Carol Ann. Ryan said, appreciating that you almost were willing to entertain natural explanations for material phenomena, instead defaulting to fantastical expectations, you should stick with that tendency. Well, Ryan, I don't decide what comes out, and it's a disservice to pretend that these things aren't happening and continue to hurt people. So it might be fantastical to you because you have never experienced ritual abuse, but God is using the messengers to out these people who rely on secrecy and our disbelief that it's happening to continue it. And if you're going to continue to think it's fantastical because you don't believe it, that's fine. You can do whatever you want, but you don't dictate what God has me do and what messages come out. So I know it's hard to believe, but this is, as someone who has had these abilities since she was born, I just have a different perspective than you. And I've gone through my own ritual abuse. So I absolutely know 100% that people do these things. And it's time for us to know the truth because it's not going to happen anymore as we go into the future. I'm going to make sure of that. Okay? Ye, most religious beliefs are cults. It's just that they're big enough to be called. Exactly. So you don't have to believe it, but there are people who go through these things, and it's time for the truth to come out because they rely on us thinking it's fantastical to continue it. Bible God, the one who gives detailed instructions in Exodus about how to legally keep and beat one's slaves. Well, the Bible God is not God. That's not God. God is omnipotent. You're absolutely right. I'm not talking about Bible God. We're starting to observe that the Bible and the people who've written it are part of this sun worship. And they've put little bits of truth in the Bible that, are true. Poltergeist. Spirit just said poltergeist. But then they put a lot of things in there that are stupid and ridiculous. So, thank you, Ryan. I'll like you more now. A cult receives around a single leader claiming to have knowledge of how to get heaven or some. Exactly. And the reason why the Bible's full of, go look it up. King James, the King James version of the Bible. King James wrote a book about demons, and he gained information from warlocks and witches, and he used occult knowledge to write that book, and he was a pedophile. So it's like, can we really trust everything that's in the Bible? I don't think so. Well, Solomon as well. Solomon too. God is my bestie. Yeah, me too. Exactly. Except the Bible says you can't be gay and you can't get divorces and you can't be psychic and you got to sleep with your brother and you got to sleep with your father and you got to, like all the, and you got to pill it, you got to kill, Joan of Arc claimed to talk to God, but God would never say go to war and kill people. So I don't know if Joan of Arc was talking to God. It's like God doesn't need us to kill people or beings or burn things or SA children to gain power. So it's ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. Okay. Oh wow. Then you need to reread the Bible because there's a lot of things in there that are ridiculous. All right. Tell me more about this person that... There's a specific person that... Oh my gosh, look. I think that an object was placed inside of her by a specific person that, she ran off into another room because she came out of her trance-like state or whatever. And luckily she was in a dream state, so it was kind of shrouded for her, but she may have ran away.
The energy settles.
And there was some kind of gate opened, and that might be why this film had so many. And this film could have also, in this dynamic, could have included many people who are part of the movie, and that's why those people, aren't around anymore. We know that if once you agree to be part of this fertility ritual and you are part of the ritual, that automatically binds you to them and you have to continue to do the rituals, otherwise you die. You die. Or if you tell anyone what happened, you die. Okay. And so if there's this many people that passed because of this movie, and there's a number of people that weren't willing to continue the rituals, that could be a reason why they were cursed. Because they cursed themselves, essentially, by agreeing to do the ritual. But we do know that they tricked these people into doing the rituals by breadcrumbing them with thoughts of, being part of the entertainment industry, having jobs and stuff like that. And they also do use... threats against your family and stuff, if it comes down to it. Spirit said not likely. Spirit's like, not likely. They just kill you. They kill you first. What's cooking? I can't make it up. Yeah. Drugging. Putting something in the food. Okay. Let's see. We'll do what do you meme? Okay. What do you meme? Miss P, NASA now actively knows that we were implemented by living creator in our solar system and is attempting to locate it by dynamic Earth trajectory. That's such a masculine way. That's such a masculine way of finding omnipotent energy. How do you know what Jesus loves? We have practically no information about Jesus until hundreds and hundreds of years after his death, written by non-eyewitnesses who were politically motivated. When everyone at lunch is talking about what they got for Christmas, but you're Jewish, isn't Steven Spielberg Jewish? I don't know that for a fact. Let me see. Is Steven Spielberg Jewish? Yes. And you're talking about Jesus and Christmas is here. When everyone at lunch is talking about what they got for Christmas, but you're Jewish. On top of who is the greatest of all time. When the person you're giving head to falls asleep. And look at this. That was on top of, under, when the person you're giving head to falls asleep. When your parents ground you the night of the spring fling. Yeah, this is all allegedly, I can't prove it. This is for entertainment purposes only, but her parents could have allowed her to go to this mansion of the greatest of all time, someone who's Jewish, someone who is Jewish, someone who's part of this sun worship. When the DJ turns off your favorite songs, but then surprises you with another certified banger. I think that what happened here was, this isn't something new. This is something that happens all the time, perhaps during like an equinox or a specific day where there's a full moon or some kind of celestial, spring equinox, something like that. I also was guided to put the perfume Eclipse on today, so there could have been something about an eclipse. So this isn't something new. Her parents allow her to go to this person's house because this person is the greatest of all time. This person's the greatest of all time, a Jewish person, okay? And they trust. I don't know how involved the parents are. She said Janet, so I think that they could potentially have an idea. I'm not sure, but they allow her to sleep over, falls asleep. Okay, but they give her some kind of food when she arrives. They say, "Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I care about you so much. I love you. I love you." And then here's some dinner. Here's some dinner. But the dinner's got some kind of substance in it, okay? She falls asleep, and then she gets put into ceremonial robes, and some kind of ritual happens, okay? Something that involves a group of people, possibly politicians, singers, actors, people she thinks are her friends, and possibly she might not even know that this is happening most of the time. But this particular time in 1988, she wakes up from the stupor she's in, and she runs away in the mansion down the hallway. And she opens a door where there's a specific person who's in the midst of some kind of ritual or something. I'm not sure, okay? But whatever this person, let me see if I can get information on this person. This person could have invoked some kind of entity, and so they weren't exactly driving their vessel. That's where the dream book decoder indicated that they wanted to go off on their own and do their own thing. They're supposed to be part of a team. They say, "Oh, I'm going to go find this child because she ran off. Let me go find her." It could be this Jewish person, the greatest of all time. Don't they say that Steven Spielberg's the greatest director of all time? And he's Jewish? Okay. He goes off on his own to find her, and he does his own thing. And I think whatever happens is something that wasn't supposed to happen. It could involve a head injury and possibly, sticking something in her intestines, an obstruction. Okay? An inanimate object.
I'm resting at the graveyard.
Okay? And that's when, she gets sick. Or it may have happened, they say her symptoms started in 1987, but we don't know if that's true. We don't know if that's true. That could have been part of the lie. When the teacher thinks you're not listening, so she asks you a question, but you get it right. Thank you. When you hear an unfamiliar girl's voice in the background of your boyfriend's Snapchat. She could have started to, because of this ritual, she could have been hearing voices, or she could have been experiencing something supernatural, or the person who did this to her is now starting to experience unfamiliar voices and something supernatural. It could be her haunting. She said haunting earlier. It could be her haunting this person. Okay. When the barista sees you hit the no tip option after you buy a coffee, when the doctor hands you painkillers and you gotta act normal. Yeah, whoever hurt her, whoever did this to her, is terrified, and she could be terrifying them. They're trying to act normal, but they know what happened. What time is it? All right, I gotta close this up, guys. Tell us more about this Jewish director. Look high and low. Soft-hearted. To Aegon. By the skin of their teeth. They looked high and low for someone soft-hearted to Aegon. Bite someone's head off. Monkey business. Battle Royale. All hands on deck. Running on empty. Like a bat out of hell. Square deal. Wet blanket. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Ships that pass in the night. Food for thought. Spirit keeps, I don't know why this came up. It could be associated with human trafficking in the entertainment industry, but they always talk about ships, something about cargo ships. It's a piece of cake, again with the cake. Yeah, so what happened was, this one occasion, she's invited to this house a lot of times, and every time she's drugged, she falls asleep, she gets in this ritual, she gets violated, she wakes up, she doesn't remember, okay, which is, thank God. But this one particular occasion, she came out of her stupor in a dream state, and she tried to escape, and the person who owns the house went after her and went on their own instead of being a team effort. They were doing things to her in her stupor that may have caused the obstruction in her intestines. Because there's no way that a 12-year-old goes to the hospital complaining of, all these medical things, and they don't do an x-ray to see if there's something wrong inside of her. Like, why wouldn't they do that? Okay? That's the problem with their story. That's the first thing they would do. Okay? Behave, I'm watching, first warning. Who are you, God? The only person I fear is God, and there's nothing to fear. Okay? So, I don't know who you're trying to scare. But it ain't me. And so I don't think that the symptoms started a year before. I think that they started very suddenly, and they had to make up a story, and the mother's allowing her daughter to go to this house, and she's being given gifts, and she's being given opportunities and reasons for her daughter to go. I don't know how involved the mother was or how much she knew, but she was definitely involved in covering it up. Okay, I'll get a couple more. Show your target how to swing a golf club by standing right behind them and grabbing their hands. Yeah, she could have also been involved with this. You know, her hands are dirty too. You are a stork dropping off a heavy-ass baby to mom. Yeah, when they drop the kid off, when they drop her off to the mother, you know, she's all drugged up and stuff. Do you think the mother's asking any questions? No, not as long as she's getting paid. Explain to your target that you have to break up because last night you had sex with Santa Claus and they will never be the lover he was. She could have also been part of this thing, this group of people, okay? I don't see really anything about the father, but definitely the mother. How can we heal it? Heather, I know you were only 12, but what's your advice for people who need advice for things like this? I'm not laughing. I'm just like, ugh. Enough with the fertility rituals. Get over it. Belief in reverse. I think she was part of a, she was born part of a bloodline that her mother might have been part of or bought into because she believed what they were saying about what they believed. But instead of believing in themselves and believing in, you know, their own godfidence, you know, this is what people do when they don't believe in themselves. They trust things that are outside of themselves to bring abundance when Spirit said zoo, when really they're capable of manifesting anything they want. Okay? You are the creator of your own reality. No matter what human belief you come into contact with, doesn't mean you have to believe it. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. It doesn't make it true outside of this universe, outside of this planet. Okay? There aren't people doing these rituals outside of the planet. Money, religion, and politics don't exist outside of this planet. Okay? I believe in myself, the beauty of life, and the goodness of God. Thus, I have the power to fulfill my dreams. The will of the Almighty supports me. My life is showered in divine light, and my heart opens to the power of the universe. Yeah.
1930s.
Balance. I find a balance between each sphere of my life. I am the master of my daily life. I make time to nourish the spiritual and physical. I bring love to my world by fulfilling the needs of my body and soul. Absolutely. This is what Spirit says time and time again. Just because you want something doesn't mean that it's meant for you or that you're supposed to do it. And if you're so fixated on believing that you're supposed to be this famous star and you need outward validation and you're not feeding your soul, you're not working on your spirituality, you're only working on the physical, then you're going to attract people, places, and things that operate in that same mentality. And when you only care about the physical, money, cars, fame, fortune, when you only care about those things, you will attract people that only care about those things too. And it's not a balanced state of mind. You have to know that whatever's meant for you will find you. And it's not about being famous. It's not about having money. It's not about having everyone pay attention to you. Clearly, there's something in this mother-daughter dynamic where, this little girl is trusting the adults in her life because there's some kind of imbalance in her home life. She's looking outside of herself for humans to trust, and the ones that are breadcrumbing her are the ones that she's attracted to, because they're breadcrumbing her, confirming to her, like, I love you so much. Like she's their own, but it's really because she fits a very specific criteria and frequency that they need.
Dubious.
It's dubious. Thank you. It's dubious. It's a double-edged sword. But because, she has no independent autonomy, she's 12 years old, and she doesn't have a parent figure who's also independent, has independent thought. They're both susceptible to the belief system of this cult. Okay? Independent autonomy. It's all an illusion. So forget it all. It's a joke, but that's the truth. So Spirit says, if you want what's meant for you, what's meant for your blueprint, you need to not worry so much about, money. I know it's hard to do that. It's easier said than done. But if you work on finding alignment, if you work on being happy now, finding joy now, being grateful now, you will attract what is meant for you. And nothing that is meant for you will ever lose you. You'll always find what's meant for you. But if you're going out seeking people's validation and being attracted to people's breadcrumbing as opposed to asking for clarity from your higher self or God or whoever you subscribe to, you have to have your spirit guides help. You have to. Back in ancient times, they wholeheartedly allowed their ancestors and their spirit team to help guide them. If you're unsure about people who are breadcrumbing you, who you think care about you but don't, ask God for clarity, and then sit in silence and wait. Eat the right food, fast, exercise, take care of your body, do the things that are required to have spiritual hygiene so you get a clear message. And then you will know by being able to read the energy of other people and discern the demon in that person. Just like Yeshua taught Mary Magdalene how to discern the spirit within each person. Okay, that's what he taught himself to do through God in his 40 days and 40 nights when he went off into the world, those mysterious years. That's what he was doing. He was encountering temptations and people and demons within people that come to you, that see your light, that want a piece of you. And you give it away willingly because you believe people and what they say. Don't believe what they say. Believe in the energy that they're showing you, their energy signature, because you can 100% believe or know that they have someone that's reading your energy and they're tapping into your energy against your will, and they're using divination and they're spying on you energetically. They're using fortune tellers and they're reading your destiny and blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of bullshit. Trust that there's people out there doing that to you. And so you need to be able to know, is this person trustworthy? So, voice of the heart. I silence the fear in me and discover the voice of my heart. The fruit of these words guides me. I trust the song of my soul. My intuition leads me on the path of light. It's unfortunate because she was a child, and so the people that she trusted, imagine waking up from a stupor and not understanding why you're in pain or why you feel funny, or there's just an intuitive feeling that something's wrong, and not being able to understand what's happening. Okay, again, if that is happening to you, something that can help give you clarity is your spirit team, because they can see everything that's going on. They're omnipotent. They are omnipresent. They have the ability to see things you cannot see. Okay, it's God, and we not need to understand. Okay. I love you, everybody. Thank you to Heather for giving us your perspective. We hope that this helps you let go of any cycles that are perpetuating in your crossed over existence. We hope that you can go home and this allows you to release yourself from any burdens that this may have binded you to. And we love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Oh, don't worry. The bigger the message, the more the trolls. So don't worry. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I love you guys so much. I love you so much. I'm so excited for you guys to show up and be part of this thing that's unfolding for new earth energies, learning how to guide ourselves into the new earth energies in this very specific way. It's very fun for spirit and for us, and we love you so much. So we'll see you in the middle of the week. Spirit's guiding us to do more weekly readings, so we're gonna start doing that, and we'll see you next weekend always. Thank you guys. We'll see you next weekend. We post every weekend. We're here live every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday at 6 a.m. If there's any suggestions, I know that Lake Superior, you were talking about Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington. Right? Chester Bennington. Which, we did do a couple readings with them a couple years ago, but I'm ready to do some new ones. And it's funny because I used to work at Club Tattoo, which is actually owned by Chester Bennington and a couple of his friends. It was a horrible experience, but it's funny, my connection to him. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, funny, right? I actually got fired from there because the owners are just whack jobs, honestly. Well, I love you. I love you guys. Okay, so I'll be working on that for sure. But I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.